Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And today we'll be talking about Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that Bitcoin has been definitely popping once again. The Bitcoin is on a ride once again. It's been for the past week or so, it's been on a tear. And I've been trying to encourage people, give people, viable information in order for them to invest in Bitcoin a long time ago. And Bitcoin is about, in my opinion, in the next month or so, Bitcoin is going to do a correction. Bitcoin is going to do a market pullback, so to speak, because a lot of Bitcoin investors are saying that Bitcoin is overvalued at the current rate, at the current speed, because essentially they are expecting Bitcoin to hit 50K per coin. They are expecting Bitcoin to reach 50 to 60K per coin. But what's imperative is that certain investors who largely invest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they saying that Bitcoin is popping too much. Like the Bitcoin bang is going at a rate of speed that was unpredicted. So essentially, Bitcoin is being overvalued. Okay. So currently, let's look at Bitcoin and how it actually looks. So here's Bitcoin at $27,200 and some dollars. Is fluctuating throughout the market. Now, here's my stake on Robinhood. I have a little bit in Robinhood. Now, I also have a little bit on Coinbase because I first started investing in Bitcoin a while back, and then I cashed out, and then I went back in, which is very, very stupid. I would have made a lot of money by now, but that is my mistake. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, please invest in Bitcoin, okay? Invest in Bitcoin and keep your Bitcoin. Do not let go of your Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if it drops 10 to 15%. Because essentially, if it drops 10%, it's down to maybe 25,000. If it drops 15%, it's down 23,000. Keep your Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. So right here, my stake on Robinhood, my cost was $2,100. Okay, it was $2,100. 8.68 of my portfolio, my total Robinhood portfolio, and I'm at 9.50%. Because this morning, I actually invest more into Bitcoin. I think I put around $900 into Bitcoin. Now, technically, in my opinion, what I should have done is waited till this market correction. As you can tell right here, here's 900, here's 14. This is my past history that I've been actually buying Bitcoin. Okay, so I don't have an entire coin because one coin is $27,000. Okay, but Bitcoin is still going up as we know it. Okay, so that is we're going to get back on the timeline. We're going to go back on the timeline. I'm just showing you briefly my two portfolios, and here's my Coinbase portfolio. I'm on Coinbase. I'm at $2,700 roughly. Okay, I'm at $2,700 roughly, and as you can tell, like I said, this past week, look at the end grade here. Look at the increase over this past week right here. You see this? See here, it was kind of muddling back and forth, and I'm dealing with my profits here. But this is also a good indicator of how Bitcoin was performing. And for the most part here, Bitcoin was moving sideways. Okay, it was teetering here and there, small fluctuations of increases and decreases, but nonetheless, soon as it hits kind of like this past week, you see that large fluctuation, especially how it ramps up here, and then it goes up even more. So Bitcoin is on a bang, Bitcoin is on a tear, but please look out for Bitcoin going into market correction. Now, I don't want you guys to be so overspent on Bitcoin alone, because there are other cryptocurrencies that you guys can absolutely invest in. And I believe that's imperative for your portfolio. If you're not investing in cryptocurrencies, you are not a 360 investor. You should be investing in options. You should be investing in ETF and index funds. You should be investing in individual. You should have gold and silver. You should have little bits of stuff, because when you diversify yourself in different sectors, not in just different industries in your individual stocks. You're like, oh, well, I invest in United Healthcare and I also invest in Tesla. I understand that you need to have diversification in your individual stocks. That's one. But you also need to have diversification in your index and ETFs fund. That's two. You also need to have diversification in your option trading. That's three. You need to have diversification in your cryptocurrencies. That's four. This is a 360 investment. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, if you're not in cryptocurrencies, then you're not a 360 investor. Now, regardless if you believe some of the teachings of Robert, what's his name? Robert Kiyosaki. No, not Kiyosaki. That's the dude on Shark Tank. Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki. And that, a lot of these sort of money entities are fake. Nonetheless, they're still making people money. I mean, if you're going to invest in something because, it's fake, but it's making you money, then I say, hey, invest in that fake thing because it's making you money. But nonetheless, I digress on that particular point. But the point I'm making here is, ladies and gentlemen, is that you should have cryptocurrencies. Okay, you should have cryptocurrencies inside of your portfolio. You should have cryptocurrencies inside of your portfolio. Let's go over the Bitcoin timeline so we can understand the rise of Bitcoin. Okay, you can understand the rise of Bitcoin. So currently, we understand, ladies and gentlemen, that Bitcoin is at $27,000 and fluctuating. Okay, so we look over the past week. Look at this. Bitcoin rose. Look at this number right under here, ladies and gentlemen. In the past week, Bitcoin has risen $4,400 in the past week. So a lot of people look at this particular price and they don't understand investments, okay? They're like, oh, wow, I don't have $27,000 to invest in Bitcoin. Don't worry about that, because in Robinhood and then also WeBull, it doesn't matter the amount of money that you have. Because in Bitcoin, you can buy your shares in fractions. Let me take you down to this. If you can see my portfolio here, I don't have $27,000. I don't even have an entire coin. How much do I actually have? It says that I paid $2,100 and my quantity of Bitcoin is only 0.08. It's not even 0.8. I'm not even close to one Bitcoin. I'm 2 decimal points away from actually having a Bitcoin, which is a lot of money. But you consider it like, hey, dog, you're like $25,000 away from having an entire Bitcoin. But that is not where the money is. The money is where you can invest in fractions with the money that you have, okay? And look at this. Now, right now, it's only at 9.73%. You know me, I love 20%. But when it comes to Bitcoin, I'm buying it at a higher price point than I did early on this year, because I sold a lot of Bitcoin thinking it was going to do a market correction. I was absolutely wrong. But this time, I know that I'm not going to be wrong. Within the next month, look for Bitcoin to drop anywhere from 5 to 15%, okay? But there are some other things that you guys like today. Here's my information I did today. It says I paid $900. Okay, I put in $900 and at 7:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. So again, I know there's going to be pulled back, but essentially, sometimes investors tries to time the market. Don't do that, because I could be wrong. Bitcoin can go up to $40 a Bitcoin and then do a market correction. But let me give you some more information I think that may be pertinent to you guys. There's a lot of large investors now believing in Bitcoin. So that's imperative for you guys to understand as well. This is the reason why I believe that Bitcoin is probably preparing for a correction. Because Bitcoin, believe it or not, has been up about 15%, pushing an all-time high. So a lot of times people didn't even understand that Bitcoin reached $28,500. So it already went back a little bit, but it's still going up. You see it's teetering right now. We've been looking at it for a while. Bitcoin is still teetering at 27,280. It's kind of in that realm, but it's now it has dropped to 256, 291. It's jumping all over the place. Now it's at $27,300. But nonetheless, Bitcoin was up to $28,500. Okay. So now when you think about it, Bitcoin is now up over 150% in the past 3 months. Because believe it or not, in September, October, you can go back. It was down to $10,000 to $11,000. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick look at that. Okay, let's take a quick look at that. So we go back 3 months. Okay, we go back 3 months. Look at this. Look at this right here. Did I say October, September? September, October? $10,000. This is what I'm talking about. So think about it like this. Think about it like this. If you would have invested $100 in Bitcoin, $100, and if you look at it today, you have almost doubled that amount, tripled that amount rather. If it hits 30K, you would have tripled that amount. So because if you go in, let's just round off. Let's just say $10,000, okay? So $10,000, you put in $100, and then it went to $20,000. So you just gained another $100. And if it goes to $30,000, you just made $200 off $100. That is the power of cryptocurrencies and also Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is kind of like the, United States dollar. Certain things make it rise and certain things make it fall. Even though that, the United States currency is not the most powerful currency in the world. I mean, you still got the English pound that's worth more. You have the Kuwaiti dinar that is worth more than the American dollar. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to go over to Kuwait and you worked, okay? If you go over to Kuwait and you worked, and say, for instance, you saved up $50,000. Let's have a little bit of fun with this because I want you guys to really understand my take on money. Let me see, currency converter, right? Currency converter, currency calculator. Let's look this up very quickly so you guys can totally understand what I'm talking about right here, okay? Let's look up Kuwaiti dinari. Give me 1 second. All right, Kuwaiti dinar to USD. Let's go to USD, okay? I'm going to share this with you guys because I think this is important for you guys to understand how currencies are actually done, okay? How currency is actually done. Let me blow this up. So I want you to look at this, ladies and gentlemen. If you went to Kuwait and you worked, one Kuwaiti dinar, okay, essentially one Kuwaiti dollar is worth $3.27 of American money. So that's why those Middle Eastern guys can come over here and actually be instant millionaires, okay? Because think about it like this. Take, for instance, you had a 401k in Kuwaiti dinar. And just say you had a measly $100,000 because you've been saving on your job. Automatically, look how much money you have in American dollars. Look how much money you have in American dollars. You took 100,000. So if I say, okay, look at this, 100 USD to Kuwait dinar, okay? That's how much money you'll have right there. That's essentially ridiculous, okay? But I did that backwards, didn't I? Didn't I do that backwards? I did it backwards. My bad. I did it backwards. I'm like, what's the numbers not adding up? So you have 100 Kuwaiti dinar. So let me flip this so you guys can see it. Sorry about that. To USD. That's how much money you will have. You see how you double, triple your money? So that's what I'm talking about, the power of currency and understand how markets fluctuate. So if you had 100,000 401k in Kuwaiti dinar and you came to America, you already went up over $250,000. You tripled your money essentially. So when I look at Bitcoin, it's similar to that. I mean, whether you understand it or not, because if you would have invested back here in October at $10,000, you would have almost tripled your money here at $27,000. And I saw it up to $27,300. Now it's moving back. So let me get back to what I was getting at when I'm talking about. It's about, in my opinion, the next month, it looks like it's going to do a market correction. I'm reading a lot of information, a lot of cryptocurrency investors, and they're talking about that it's looking like it's close to a top. anytime that it's close to its top, it's like climbing a mountain, right? Like when I was in Washington State, I summit Mount Rainier. Once you summit any mountain, once you get to the peak of any mountain, there's nothing else to do except come back down and go to a what? A bigger mountain. So when we look at investments here, let me show you what I'm talking about. When we look at investments, look at this very, very quickly, okay? Look at this very, very quickly. And you can tell, excuse me, let me show you. Look at this very, very quickly. That is how investing is. When you look at your candlesticks, ladies and gentlemen, this is how investing is. So think about it like you want to go hike and summit different mountains. When you get to the peak, you have to come back down, okay, because you're done and you're going to find a bigger mountain. You're going to find a bigger hill to either hike or summit. So essentially, when we look at this back in December 2017, Bitcoin rose to $19,000, and that was just unheard of at the time, right? So for a long time throughout the years, Bitcoin has been muddling in the valleys and the lows and the plateaus. Then all of a sudden comes this year, then Bitcoin just goes on a rip right around this time frame, September, October time frame, and it's been climbing ever since. It's been climbing ever since. So essentially, it's going to top off, okay? It's going to top out, and that you guys need to actually get invested into this before it does that. Because think about it like this. I think if it does hit $30,000, and today it's already coming back a little bit, as you can tell. Earlier I was talking about that it was at 27,300. Now it's at 27,200. So it's already doing something really funky there. But see, Bitcoin may fall about 20-30% because of the last bull market many times due to extremely reflexive nature of the market. Okay, so based upon those current previous percentage drops, it suggested that anywhere between a 5 to 15% reduction in the percentage and profit in Bitcoin may occur within the next month, okay? So Bitcoin dropping by 10% from the current price level will probably be around 25,000, somewhere in there. Bitcoin dropping about 15%, it probably would drop to about 23,000. But I don't think that you should ever sell your Bitcoin. Let me say that again. You shouldn't sell your Bitcoin. It doesn't matter where you got in at, because a lot of times, me thinking I'm some sort of investing savant, I will take out my money of an investment because it's overvalued, it's overboard, and I'm reading all the indicators, going over analytics, and everything is telling me that this stock is going to drop. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I've been wrong, and it hasn't dropped. And so now that I'm buying back in, it goes at a lower price point, and as soon as I buy back in, guess what occurs? It drops. So I was right and I was wrong at the same time, okay? But see, the new huge investors with Bitcoin is BlackRock, okay? So one key trend that investors are keeping an eye on in the weeks ahead is the potential of BlackRock. And we need to understand about BlackRock, ladies and gentlemen. BlackRock is the world's, okay, listen to this. BlackRock is the world's famous and leading asset manager. I'm going to say this again. BlackRock is the world famous and leading asset manager. And it's very important that you guys understand that. Okay, it's very important that you understand that, because when big moguls get into the game like that, let me tell you, it's going to blow the top off of Bitcoin. So let's talk about BlackRock. So BlackRock interest into the cryptocurrency market could drive an all-time level high of demand for cryptocurrencies, bar none. If they get into it, not only Bitcoin is going to be very, very popular, but other Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well. So let me show you my Coinbase portfolio. So when we talk about other cryptocurrencies, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Bitcoin Cash. We're talking about XRP, Stellar Lumens, EOS, Orchard, Ethereum, Litecoin, Compound, Maker, CeeLo, the Graph. Like, these are the some that, was in my portfolio that I had a stake inside of. Okay, I'm just showing you the Coinbase platform because it's probably it's more easily to navigate and see multiple cryptocurrencies. Okay, so essentially, I kind of sold all of my previous ones and I transfer all of that into Bitcoin, as you can tell. A lot of these I was inside of. Look at all these other cryptocurrencies I was inside of: OX, Agave, Alar, Agor, Balancer, Boncore Network Token. A lot of these you probably even haven't seen. But ladies and gentlemen, Chainlink, Civic, not the car, Dash, EOS. EOS is a good one. So if you say, hey, if you were to invest in other Bitcoins, in other cryptocurrencies, what are some of the most popular ones? Well, I'll tell you this. XRP is a very popular one. Stellar Lumens is a very popular one. CeeLo is a very popular one. Let me show you some other ones here. Bitcoin Cash is another very popular one. Dash is a very popular one. Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are very popular ones. Litecoin is very, very popular. I had a big stake in Litecoin. I made a little bit of chump change there. It wasn't a lot, but I made a little chump change with Litecoin. But Bitcoin is the leading cryptocurrency as we know it, okay? Let's see what else we have. Zcash is very, very popular. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know a lot about Bitcoin, I have Bitcoin videos on my channel for you guys to look at. So this is the current stake that I have in Coinbase, because that's where I started off with. But Coinbase is a fee service program. You have to pay a fee for their service, a fee service program, okay? So I'm looking at a lot of you guys talk about a lot of things in the chat room. Let me make sure I address some of you guys. We got Nolan Baptiste. Thank you for moderating, good sir. I do appreciate your hard work. We got Jermaine Anderson. Good morning to you as well. We got Tiffany Scott. What if it sells off to 4K again? What if it sells off to 4K again? I'll address that. Stock ticker name USIO. Well, let me see if I can look into that. USIO. Let's see if that's on here. Is that a crypto? No, we're talking about cryptocurrencies today, guys. We're not talking about anything else. So sorry if I'm not addressing anything else today. I'm talking about cryptocurrencies. So let's address what Tiffany Scott said. She said, what if it sells off to 4K again? I'm thinking you mean decrease to 4K. You're talking about $4,000. So Bitcoin right now, ladies and gentlemen, is still a very volatile market. Cryptocurrencies in itself is a still volatile market because a lot of like old school investors like, yo, what is up with these new digital cryptocurrencies? What's going on? How people are making all this money off something that was just made up by somebody named Satoshi Nakamoto or somebody like that, some Japanese guy supposedly, or a Japanese team of a new cryptocurrency that, you know, it's a very, very real thing that you can be a millionaire off if you continue to invest in this. So she says, what if it drops to 4K again? I would like to go to history, okay, of any particular stock, okay, because that is what Bitcoin is becoming. It's being normalized as a new market of investments. Because take, for instance, when you think of, what was the guy from the Vanguard CEO and founder? Not Jack Bogle. I forgot his name. If anybody remembers the Vanguard CEO, he created index funds. Okay, that was new as well. You get what I'm trying to say? So creating new market of currencies or creating new ways to invest is not new. So a lot of people who are traditional investors, they should understand, as well as people who are new to investing, that I think his name was Jack Bogle. I may be wrong, but I think his name was Jack Bogle, the CEO and founder of Vanguard, which is like a $6-7 trillion asset manager, that he created index funds. Okay, he created index funds, I think in the 70s or 80s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but the 70s or 80s, he created the index fund market. Okay, and that's made people billions of dollars. Okay, it made people billions of dollars. So we have to look at Bitcoin the same way. So when I look at this, ladies and gentlemen, you talking about we get back down to 4,000. Okay, look at this in 2016. Look at this in 2016. Now, granted, I want you guys to think about this very, very intelligently. If I would have invested the $2,000 that I have on Robinhood, okay, I would have essentially had how many Bitcoins by now? I would have had how many Bitcoins by now? I would have had about 4 to 5 Bitcoins by now. Think about that. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it all the time. Bitcoin is not going anywhere. If you got BlackRock getting into this thing, You got IBM into this thing. You have large corporations not only investing in blockchain technology, which is the supporting security for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a very, very real thing. Now, I know there's a lot of complex things that go into Bitcoin. Some people say, you know, what is Bitcoin mining? What is the digital ledger? What is the network? And I've broken this down time before, but it goes, anytime somebody make a video about Bitcoin, it takes a lot of research and studying because Bitcoin is not as simple as some of the other investment markets, whether it be futures or Forex or ETFs or mutual funds or individual stocks or commodities. It's very, very different, but the basis of the investment is the same. Keep your money inside your investments until you absolutely need it. That is the kind of the thing of investment. People hold on to their investments until they absolutely need it. It's almost like an emergency fund. The difference between investments and an emergency fund, in my opinion, is that emergency fund, I can get to the money like this. Anytime you sell off any of your investment, it takes you what? 3 to 5 days to see that money inside your bank account. But to answer yourself and to sell off 4K, hold it. Because you see right here, 4 years ago, Bitcoin was $400. Okay. So let's go back to 2019. It was $3,500. So in what? 3 years, it rose $3,000. You get what I'm getting at? So it doesn't matter where Bitcoin dropped to. It's not going anywhere. This is the truth as I know it. I don't see a lot of other analysts and stock investors do not see Bitcoin going anywhere because, again, when you have large corporations that are investing in Bitcoin and blockchain technology, it tells you that it solidifies its place in the digital currency / cryptocurrency markets. So to give you just a little more information, that's a really good question. I'm going to stay here for a moment. Let's look up corporations invested in Bitcoin. I think this is important. I'm going to move it over here so you guys can see it as well. Okay. I'll move it over here. And we're going to look at this together because I think it's important. I think it's very important that we understand why we invest in something, why we will hold it. Hopefully we can get a quick list. Let's see here. Let's see if they give us a quick list. Nope. They're taking us around the world. Let me go back out. Give me 1 second. I'm doing this live. Sometimes I try to do things live. That way you guys can see it for yourself. Who invested in Bitcoin? Let's look at this one. We got top line Square. It says the payments company founded by billionaire Jack Dorsey invested $50 million in Bitcoin. Who else invested in Bitcoin? Thank you, sweetie. 8 top Bitcoins. Let's look at this one. PayPal investing in Bitcoin. I use PayPal. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in there, if you have your own business, you invest in PayPal as well. Who else? Square is investing in Bitcoin. Okay. Square's market value at $99.2 billion. Okay. Return on equity, 18.7%. Let me blow this up for you guys. I didn't know you can see it. My bad. Okay. Here's the information I'm reading right here, guys. Okay. Also, what else do we have here? Did they change the page? JP Morgan and Chase. I know a lot of you, even if you don't bank with JP Morgan and Chase, even if you don't invest with JP Morgan and Chase, you have heard of JP Morgan Chase. This is not a small thing. This is a very big thing. Okay. Market value, $366.8 billion. Return of equity, 9.5. They are investing in Bitcoin. It says right here, the bank is first looking at blockchain run systems. Again, I told you a lot of these companies into blockchains. Then they'll start getting to Bitcoin as well because blockchain is the security, is the kind of encryption that Bitcoin actually uses. Okay. Trying to find a blockchain investment that will outperform Bitcoin is not easy. Okay. I'm going to move on. We got a couple more to cover. Nvidia. Now, if you look down at your laptop, or your desktop, most likely you're going to have Nvidia or AMD. You're going to have Nvidia or AMD. So again, these are not small corporations. These are very, very large corporations. Market value at $330.8 billion. Okay. These are companies that are invested with blockchain technology and also Bitcoin. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, as I said before, $116.9 billion at return on equity, 29.1%. IBM, as I said before, I told you about IBM, International Business Machines. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen, $1,112.2 billion, return on equity of 40.1. And then Honeywell. Honeywell has a lot of you. Honeywell does your regular thermostats in your home, as well as the new smart thermostats. A lot of you guys will see Honeywell in your home. And they also do a lot of other protection and also personal protection gear. You see right here, eye protection with Honeywell, $150.3 billion, return on equity 27.7. Honeywell, again, is not a small thing, it's a very big thing. And then Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, okay? Assets under management, $10.9 billion, okay? 2%, it says 200 for every $10,000 investment. So ladies and gentlemen, again, I couldn't drive this home more enough. If you're not in Bitcoin, if you're not going to rise on the Bitcoin bang, and as I told you, there's going to be a market correction. There's going to be a pullback. There's going to be a cryptocurrency slight decrease that's going to occur. And it may be happening right now as we're live. Remember so let me show you something very quickly. Let me show you the day. So remember here when I first came on, I came on around 8:45. So 15 minutes later, look what Bitcoin was at. It was at $27,295. Okay. So Bitcoin just dropped almost $300. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't go back up throughout the day, but I'm just kind of giving you the volatility that I was talking about is very volatile, but continue to invest. Now, granted, I bought in at a higher price point early this morning. You guys can buy in right now. Me personally, I can't tell you when to buy in. The only thing I can tell you, it's good that you buy in whenever you do. If you're waiting for the market correction, the market pullback of Bitcoin, I just can't tell you when it's going to happen, but I believe it's going to happen within a month, anywhere from 5 to 15%. Okay? Because right now it's down only 0.5%. Okay, it's only down a 0.5%. Now, if you guys wait, but it goes up 30K, and then it drops 5 to 10%, then you're going to be missing out on those thousands of dollars, right? Because take for instance, if it drops down to let's say 5-10%, it's going to drop down to 25,000. So let's take that up to 30,000 and drop 5 to 10%. It's only going to drop down to maybe 28 to 27,000. So you see that 2 to 3,000 that you'll be missing out on. That's what I'm talking about. There's really no good or bad time to invest. The key is invest. All right. Let me just see what other notes I have in here. We got Miss One. Peace, everyone. We got Tiffany Scott. Thanks for answering. Not a problem. You guys have a great and wonderful day. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. I'm out.